So last week you saw me make this, which is my colour gradient for my jelly roll rug that I got from the Festival of Quilts from these guys who are oh so sweet shop. And last week I actually missed the stage. I actually needed to sew these strips all together as one big line at a diagonal angle. So if you're new here, I'm Kathy. I own the Pastel Needle, which is sewing and embroidery for lifestyle. And at the end of the day, like I say, I've missed sewing these together. So first of all, before I make my jelly roll rug, I make the strips. I need to sew these together to keep one big strip, and then put the wadding in that you also saw me make last week. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, once the strips are done, we'll get on with making the rug today. So guys, I'm at the sewing machine that I've got. I own a Singer denim machine, and so with this jelly roll, I am just doing some pink bobbins. I'm using a slightly lighter pink than what was in this rug. This rug was a bit of a darker one, so say I'm using a baby pink. I'm actually using embroidery thread because embroidery thread itself is like a stronger polyester, so I'm using that in my machine. I do have some white cotton which I actually have on my spool just here, but I'm going to use that with this. So baby pink, 2 bobbins, and then we'll be able to attach all the strips together. This machine is relatively easy to get the needle out of, so, and I actually put I put either my spare needles, I just put it into one of my jelly roll rug coasters that I made, one of the initial ones, and it just stabs into it nice and easy, just like that. And I also have this thread cutter, which I got from the Festival of Quilts, which you will see in my newsletter. My newsletter's almost ready, and I can also put my spares into here. Nice and easy, nice and compact, and a nice little thread cutter. So the blades, like I say, there's blades in here, and I can just cut off when I'm done. So I do have, my machine does have a thread cutter just here, but this is uber cute and uber pastel needle. So keep an eye out on these. They're by EMIB Designs. So they will be in my newsletter, and just keep an eye out on my page for now. Right, so let's get these purple tip ones out. So when I say purple tips, the tops. It's the tops that are purple. So the tops are, and the sizes are 40 by 90, so it helps the thread go through a bit better than, say, a top stitch needle. But the top stitches are still really good because these aren't the easiest needles to get hold of, if I'm honest, because they're so specific. Like, you can't just go on Amazon and get them. Well, actually, I'm not sure if you can, but they're either like double the price. I can't remember. I didn't buy them for a reason. I actually think I wasn't sure which ones, if they were genuine. I think that's part of the issue from Amazon. So these are my special needles, which I'm just going to keep on my little pouch for now. And I'm just going to use my auto threader on my machine. So now, in terms of the strips, say I'll grab one strip. And it's always right side, which is the printed side, facing the other printed side. So facing, so that's right, correct side, incorrect side. So we're going to put that down here. So right side and right side. Some people actually do miss this step. Some people just I think they fold them as they go. I don't tend to do like that. I feel like there's extra bulk in it when that happens. So there's different ways of doing this. I just eyeball it, if I'm honest. I'm not, because I can tell that's going to come a straight line. There is other ways of doing it. Plenty of videos to look up online if you want to do it that way. So I'm just going to go down the diagonal 45 degrees. We're going to get the top one that we've just done, flip it over so that right side's facing. So you have like a hoop on the side, like a hoop. And then you get your next one. And once again, it's right side's facing. So my strips are done. So I just need to cut these off because they're all kind of connected here and there. And then I'm going to put them back on the little roll that I did last week. And there we go. Already stuck together to go. So now I am going to turn this into a actual strip. So this is when we use our jelly roll rub maker, which is this. So mine's by Clover. I've shown this before, I think a lot of people use this. So use that, it comes into 4 pieces. They go basically are inserted in one another. And just to attach the wadding to the strip to make it a bit easier to start with, I just use a bit of Elmer glue. This is purple glue, but it dries clear. Right, so we're going to change this up a bit. I'm not going to keep that on my trolley because there's not enough space. I'm going to put the wadding on the trolley because that's what's actually a bit more annoying, to be honest, in terms of trying to get it off, and it's more fibrous. So I do know some people actually put this on like a toilet roll holder, which I wish I had one right now. I really do. It would make my life so much easier. Right, I'm going to put that in there. Keep it safe and sound in there, and then get my wadding from this side. And then that's when they come together with the Clover. So first of all, let's put some glue on here. Purple, 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 purple. And then just attach, I leave a little bit of fabric at the top. Just allows me to fold it. That was a very short piece. And just fold it over. I'm going to put it through the first one actually before I fold it. It makes it a bit easier. So you know what you got. So put it through the first one. Make sure it all seems okay to line up. And then you put the insert in. There we go. We'll get that fold. And then fold it. And then we'll go into the next one. And my fold didn't quite work with that, so I need to find there are some people who do some really good folds, and I can't remember how to do them. I just always do like a straight fold out down and then pinch and then in. So then I've got this kind of line. So I've got my fold and fold over here, and it's all the tube. So the wadding connects down here with the fabric. Obviously the fabric for the outside of the rug, so the right way facing, is external. And then we're going to put it into the machine. Make sure it's caught it, which it has. Make sure all the fabric gets caught within this seam allowance here. So I've just started the strips off, and I'm just going to run through them now, so hopefully we can get onto the rug. So I've just got my label to put in after this last strip. I did make these in a previous video, just check it out here. And then there is just one thing I want to show you. So I do actually glue in, so I use my Elmer glue to connect my wadding. But when I'm connecting a wadding, I don't just put the wadding in. I actually instead of it being a straight line putting down, I actually just cut the corners. Just like that. So you got like a little angle on each of the corner. That allows for it to just glide in with the other wadding. That's how I find it easier anyway. So yeah, so when you go over to a seam, so let's say this is the last strip join, I'm just going to open it up, put the wadding on top, and then carry on sewing. But like I say, this is the last one now, and I don't even think I'm going to need one more piece of wadding on it. So I'll film this bit so you can see. So we've got all the strips done and dusted. We've also got the label on, which is just here, which I really like my little pastel needle labels. All done by myself. Like I say, I do have a previous video of making these labels. Anyway, so strips are done. I'm now going to put them, the ending, so the actual label, into my little bin here. I'm going to put that in first, get the end, and then we're going to sew an actual rug. So we're not actually going to be doing a circle rug like these ones. We're going to be doing an oval rug because I want it at my door, and a circle one wouldn't fit very well. So I think an oval one will do well. And I've calculated that it's about 8-inch start that I need to get a good rotation. So in terms of working that out, there's a couple of people who do like calculators. So I've got a lady who I follow online who's called Kirsty. So I'll put her link below so you can have a look in terms of calculating them. I think you can do the oval one, but you have to pay for the circle, or vice versa. But like I say, I'm doing a 8-inch start, and then I will be doing my oval rug. So that's the 8-inch mark here. It's at the top, so I can turn it at the 8-inch. And then I've got this towards the bottom. So in terms of my seams, I keep the double seam that's exposed to the left side while I'm doing this tube, and the actual sealed seam to the right side. So in terms of doing this one, like I say, it's 8 inches. I then twist at a 90-degree angle towards me, and then I take my clip out, and then I twist at another 90-degree angle, so it's coming back on itself facing me. At this point, we have that hat again, if you can see. That's the same as my circle rug. And then I'm just going to put my clip on there because it just makes life a little bit easier. So that's how it will look. So you'd sew across this hat line here. And once you've done that, you come down, all the way down, and then you are going to spin it. So I'm going to put this on my table so you can see. We're going to be folding it over like we did with the hat at a 90-degree angle. And we just want to butt it up against here, just like that. And then we are going to be going under ourselves this time. So we're going to butt, it's a bit tricky doing it this way, to be honest. So we're going to butt against there once we've turned it, and then we're going to turn it again to go up. So we've got basically a larger kind of hat style at the bottom, and then we're going to go upwards. If that makes sense, I hope that makes sense. So you kind of get this seam. People do pin this, but I've never had the need to. So here, you get to here, turn, and then go down here, and then you turn the item again, and then go up again. And then when you get to this point up here, there's either two ways you can do. You can either do the exact same again, where you twist, go over this side, and then twist again, if you want to do it that way. Or you can just do what I do, and it is actually this time you just start turning and gathering at the top of this section here. So you can watch me how to do it. So far we've got, as I've explained, we've got the sealed seam to the right, double seam to the left, and we're going to be connecting the little hat just here. And we do back tack. So go nice and slow, because if you don't go slow, because again, we've got our stitch across here, and now I'm going to come down. And now this is when we're going to do the twisting for the bottom bit where we put up. So I'm going to twist just the first time. I'm just going to twist once. And then we are going to stop. As soon as we get into the second one, to the right hand side. Once we get into this bit, and at the right hand side, we then spin it. Keep the needle in the machine, in the item. So keep the needle in the item, raise your pestle foot and spin gentle. And then you go again. And that should hit both sides then. And we'll just do a few stitches. And I get about halfway and you turn again, like we just did before. And then that's when you've got like a nice 90-degree angle, and you go nice and slow. And then when you get to the corner again, you then spin again. You can butt it up as much as it will go. And then you can go in again. You want to make sure this all lays nice and flat as you can get it. Some people like to iron, some people don't, or add a bit of heat. I do add heat. I think heat's really good. I just need to get my taffel on. And we just keep a tiny little bit of a heat thingy there. So we just want to get a tiny bit of heat on it to keep it flat. I just use a bit of butcher paper. Butcher paper goes in the oven. It's all good. I use it on my embroidery sometimes as well. So you get the heat, but you don't get any like crazy transfers. Keeps it flat, keeps it nice. That'll do. So this is where we're at here, and then we're going to gently come around. We need to keep this external bit flat. All this bit along this edge needs to stay as flat as you can. The internal bit can be scrunched up, because that's where the pressure can go. We don't want it on the outside, so we just need to be nice and gentle, nice and slow, no rush. And then we're back on the straight again. So it does take practice. I'm not used to doing the ovals. So just to know, I'm just going to crack on with this now till the end of the rug and hopefully be okay. And if there's any questions, let me know in the comments. I have not done many ovals. I've done one oval before, so I'm hoping this will turn out okay. But like you say, I think heat's really good for these things. You can just flatten the wadding inside and it keeps it nice and straight, and it just stops you from getting a big massive like wavy bend in it, because if you don't use any heat, it just ends up going woo. I find anyway, the more you do, the better you become, and that's, I guess, with everything. So let's finish off this rug and I will show you at the end. So guys, the rug is done. Ta-da! How cool is that? You see the little label just there. And you see, you may have noticed that I have actually gone from purple to pink. That's my mistake. That wasn't done on purpose. I forgot that I was doing it that way. So mistakes happen, I guess, all part of learning. But yeah, this is my first oval rug that hasn't turned into like a kidney shape. I did do one Easter one that's at home, but that's more Eastery. So let's. I'm really happy. I think it looks really cute. Look at all the pattern work. Like I say, I've gone from the darker purple outwards to the lighter pinks, but shouldn't have done it that way. But it's all good. It all happens. So let's go and put the rug where it's supposed to go, and hopefully it fits. Oh, it fits perfectly. That's just where I want it to be as well. And I'm going to move these slightly a bit more up again, because that's where they were before. There we go. A bit more there. And then I can put my shoes just over there. That is so incredibly cute. So I do need to actually put some backing on it. I'm going to do that another day. But for now, how cute is this rug? I love it, I love it, I love it. It's so cute. It only looks small, but it's actually a decent size. So if I just get the measuring tape so you can see. So let's have a look. We've got 29 by 22. So 29 by 22 inches. My calculations definitely were off. I think it's got to do with the fact that when I sewed them on a diagonal, I didn't bear that in mind. So I need to look more at my structures. I know with my round rugs, I pretty much can get them spot on to where I need them to be. But the oval rugs, obviously, they must be calculated slightly differently to my oval ones. So to my circular ones. But yeah, it's so cute. I'm so happy. So that's the rug done, guys. Thank you for joining me. In the next video, we're going to be looking at some of the other ranges. So these are like the scrunchies that I'm doing. That's probably the next things I want to build some stock on, and discussions about other products. So I have got a few big coasters. I'm doing wristlets, so getting scrunchies. So the next few videos needs to kind of be product prep for a craft show potentially. I still haven't got one booked. I did want to do one in Preston. I'm not sure if that's still available. However, we're going to try our best to get things done. So join me next weekend when I'm going to be getting on making stock and actually organising a proper collection. But thanks for joining me today. I've been Kathy at the Pastel Needle. You guys take care. If you want to see the prep for the rug, this rug that you've just seen today, check this link out. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. Take care.